Hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news done by geeks like you. If you're new to our show, we cover the geek news beat and we share our opinions with that, which you can share with all your friends as facts, because that's what they are. I'm your host, Chuck, and with me we have Rakai. Say what's up, Rakai.
Hello, hello.
We're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with something that we all been waiting for. The MCU takes Broadway show Rogers, the musical, and heading it to a stage. So the musical from Hawkeye is actually going to be a musical. The Disney Park account on TikTok shared a video on Thursday with a short teaser for the real life Rogers the Musical. The account added in the comment that Disney's California Adventure Park will premiere a short one act musical version of Rogers in summer 2023. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I mean, when it played at the end of Hawkeye, and as cheesy as it was, when that actor who was playing Steve Rogers, when he belted out, "I can do this all day." I mean that I was like, that's pretty awesome. So, and tell you the truth, that play might be more interesting than damn near all of Phase 4 for MCU. So
I don't know. I'm curious what phase four is going to be like. So Reese
no, I'm
Thomas,
saying
who
they're on phase five now. No, the
phase
last
five, yeah,
phase, phase
yeah,
four,
last
was
phase,
awful.
maybe it may be more interesting. Reese Thomas, who directed the Hawkeye episode built around the Broadway musical, told Polygon in November 2021 interview that he came up with the idea of the musical when he was looking at something to annoy Hawkeye, and the consciously silly tone of Rogers the musical was a balancing act of the creator. So this is going to be very interesting. I wonder if they're going to do the musical in the park, then have the characters come in and be annoyed that there's a musical of them at the park.
That would be hilarious.
That's super
I
meta,
think,
super
I
meta,
think
super
that,
meta.
I
Like
think
Hawkeye
that's
shows up and was like,
yes,
ah, oh, they're showing the musical again.
that would be awesome.
That would be
That would
awesome.
be awesome. That's almost as good as uh the play that was being done that had like Chris Hemsworth's older brother and Matt Damon in it on Asgard, of the story of like Loki and Odin. That was hilarious.
Yep, yep. So this would be interesting. This would be they should have that Loki play somewhere too. They should have that somewhere too. Like
Have you
run
seen
them both.
Have you seen the commercial for this?
No, I have not. I have not seen it on TikTok.
It's actually very smart. It starts outside and it shows like like the back silhouette of a woman, but you can tell it's Agent Carter. She never turns around, um, but it looks, it's Agent Carter, and she's holding the the handbill, the playbill for
That's
Rogers the
dope.
musical, and then she walks into the theater, and I was like, that's pretty clean.
That's dope. That's a dope way to do it. That's a
Yeah.
dope way to do it. But I think it'd be very meta if they had the play going on and the real
Hmm.
characters come into the theater.
Yeah.
They should do that. It's kind of like how they broke the wall for She-Hulk. Uh,
Hmm.
and I was like, it kind of brings like, oh, they're breaking the wall here.
Yeah, but She-Hulk did that in the comics, though. She-Hulk and Deadpool are famous for that. So
Yeah, they're famous. That's what they're known for. Speaking of that, Walking Dead Steven Yeun is joining the MCU in Thunderbolts. So Steven Yeun, the Oscar-nominated star who rose to fame as Glenn on The Walking Dead, who everybody loved and they hated his death, and was recently seen in Jordan Peele's Note, is joining Marvel Studios Thunderbolts in a mystery role. They haven't defined what role he is in yet, but Steven Yeun is going to be in the MCU.
okay, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I mean, really, when he died as Glenn on The Walking Dead, you were more aghast at how he died, even though if you knew anything about the Robert Kirkman uh, comics or graphic novels, you knew what was coming. You knew
Yeah,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. You knew what was about to happen,
yeah,
to a degree, because the producers do change things, but you knew what was about to happen.
knew it was going to go
Uh,
down.
Yeah, I mean, but Steven Yeun is a fine actor. He's a and he was actually really good in Nope. Um, he's coming in to play a villain though, which is going to be interesting. And
It's gonna be interesting.
I can't for the life of me think of who he would play.
I don't know who's the Thunderbolts villains.
Well, that's the thing. All the Thunderbolts is a team of villains.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Huh. I don't know who he would play.
are they? They're anti-heroes, aren't they? Are they?
Sure. I mean, that's what we're using these days. I
I mean,
don't
that's
know.
what they're using. They're not
That's what,
villains. They're
that's what Vin Diesel said.
anti-heroes.
Ever since he was Riddick,
Yep,
I guess,
anti-villains.
yeah, The Rock is Black Adam is an anti-hero. Okay,
Anti-hero. Yeah,
yeah,
anti-hero.
I
I
guess.
don't know. It's gonna be curious to see who he plays. I'd be very interested to see that. So that's what had me interested. The next story. Warner Brothers and New Line Cinemas have a deal to make multiple Lord of the Rings movies. That's interesting. So Amazon is making the TV shows, and
Hmm.
so they're like, we're gonna make Lord of the Rings movies. We already have Lord of the Rings movies. I don't understand why you would try to redo them because Peter Jackson is hard to outdo what Peter Jackson did.
It's, I mean, not impossible, but probably about as close to it as you can get. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's so impossible to the fact that you made three, two and a half, three great movies in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I mean, The Fellowship of the Ring was just a lot of walking.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but I mean, it set up stories.
The
The Two
setup
Stars
stories.
was dope. Return of the King was rushed, but it was still good. Uh, but then you had the Hobbit stories.
Yep.
Um, those those didn't hit. You know, I
Yeah.
don't.
And so it says Warner Brothers Discovery will be working on multiple Lord of the Ring movies with the production company behind the original film trilogy, New Line Cinema. The deal was announced by Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav during the
Mm,
company's Q4 earnings call on Thursday. He didn't provide any additional details about what those movies will look like or what they'll be based on. The two companies that had already been working together on an animated movie called The Lord of the Rings: The War of
Rohirrim.
Rohirrim, which is due out in 2024. I think I got to say that name right. The announcement
Yeah.
confirms that the anime won't be the only film we see from the partnership. So there's multiple animation films coming. We know that for sure.
Mm.
There's the Rings of Power. We know it's coming for sure.
Right.
The Embracer Group, which now owns the rights to make stories in the Tolkien universe, has said it's exploring additional movies based on iconic characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, uh, Galadriel, and Eowyn. Eowyn. So
Mhm.
there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of chefs in this kitchen. You got the
No, I just
Embracer
think like
Group,
if
you got
you,
Amazon.
yeah, and I think if you're gonna give us so here's what I'm trying to imagine. So you have the original trilogy of Lord of
Mm-hmm.
the Rings movies, and with iconic characters: Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, Galadriel, Eowyn, Samwise.
Mm-hmm.
I, it's like I'm trying to imagine if someone tried to like remake the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
No, sir. You can keep that. I don't care how much
Mm-mm.
technology is advanced. I don't care
But
about any of that.
I
No,
think they're trying to do a
sir.
Star Wars stories where they do the stories, the backstories of characters.
I mean,
And
that is okay because I can, even if it becomes canon, I can decide then if I want to keep that or not. But to redo these movies, especially as excellent as they were, no, sir, you can keep that. Now, if you want to do stories like, our producer Rodney just jumped in and said something like young Aragorn when he became a ranger and he was like a rogue or something, then I get it. And maybe I mean that's even what they try to do. Like the Lord of the Rings TV show on Amazon
Let me
Prime
let
is
me
a
let
super young Galadriel, and she's what? She's like only 1,000 or whatever. And
Yeah,
that
but there's story behind it. Tolkien wrote those stories. Tolkien wrote that backstory. I don't want a young Aragorn if Tolkien didn't write it. If there's no
no, I feel that you just out
it,
here
it, it,
just
if you turn around and hand this out to J.K. Rowlings and she makes a young Aragorn and Aragorn comes out to be like Ron Weasley, I'm gonna be very upset about this.
you know who I would love to see do it though.
Who?
Like if it's gonna be done, who I would love to see write it, Critical Role.
But
I mean, they're busy doing their own thing.
I think they're doing their own
They're
thing.
doing their
Yeah.
own thing, and I'm loving their own thing.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
don't know
to
if I
me,
want to do it
it's
because
up there. But I'm saying, but
yeah,
that's the closest that we have to someone who could walk in this world and not f it up. I don't need,
we do
I
trust
don't,
him. We
yeah,
do
I
trust
don't
him.
need a M Night Shyamalan to come in and be like, hey, I'm Indian and you're saying his name wrong. Get the hell out of the room. Get out of here,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This
yeah,
should have been
yeah.
ended at that point right there.
Yeah,
Get out of the
they
room.
end up bringing Michael Bay in to write those stories. They'll be ruining it all. He's gonna do. He says, "I'm gonna make fantasy right now. I've done robots.
Yeah.
I've done tops. Now I'm gonna do wizards.
Yeah. Uh,
Now, I don't want to see that. I'm gonna do elves and wizards.
mm-hmm. You know what elves and wizards need?
Yeah,
Explosions,
yeah.
car
He no,
chases,
no.
and explosions.
He's gonna have young Aragorn come out. Mike Lowry got Michael Lowry over here.
He's like, wait a minute. I thought Aragorn was supposed to have a sword. Why has he got a gun? He got the first
Oh,
ancient gun.
Rodney right now is having a conniption right now. He's like, they will fuck this up. They will fuck this up. Right now, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you. He's like, they better not fuck this up. He's right now. He's holding a mouse in his hand right now. They better not get us to Michael Bay. They
He's
better
like,
not
it'd be
get,
the first time I
or they
started a
give it to Quentin
campaign to boycott some
Tarantino.
shit.
Ben Diesel is Gandalf. For y'all in the chat, we're in a
Yes.
discussion with our producer in
I
the
mean,
background.
Vin Diesel is Gandalf. I mean, he can do it. I mean, he's got the
About
acting chops. I mean,
family.
he pulled off Groot. I mean,
He pulled out
damn it.
Groot. And that's hard. That is hard. Groot. He said, sign me up for a Michael Bay fantasy movie. They have Guy Ritchie come and do it. Guy Ritchie would be the
Oh
one to do
shit.
it. He said, I thought the King Arthur opening sequence was interesting and kinetic take on medieval combat. It was. I give you that.
Well,
His
if Guy
but
Ritchie came and did it though, that means we get Jason Statham. That could be.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
out there karaticizing the shit out of the orcs and shit.
You stop. He's so damn silly. We're making Henry Cavill too. We're making Henry Cavill in there too.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh man. Cause he's in The Man from Uncle.
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of great film directors, Guillermo del Toro is doing another stop motion animated film for Netflix, which is quite exciting. That has me excited. The movie is an adaptation of The Buried Giant, a fantasy novel by Kazuo Ishiguro. Del Toro's stop motion take on Pinocchio came to Netflix last year. Did you watch
Did
the
you watch that?
Pinocchio film? I
I
did not
didn't.
watch it. I started to. Was like, man, this is dark. I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this when I'm wide awake.
And that's how when it comes to Guillermo del Toro, I love Guillermo del Toro's work,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have to be very cautious about what I accept into my because like what do you do that Cabinet of Terrors or something like
Yeah,
that?
Cabinet of
I yeah,
Curiosities.
yeah, I didn't watch that either because I was like, you know what?
I'm not ready for that
I ain't
type of
got time to be
fear.
waking up in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying? Because I done heard a strange noise in the
Looking
house.
at closets.
I've been and shot one of my damn kids watching that shit. No, mm-mm.
He
I'm just trying to
understands.
get some water, Daddy. Turn some lights on, and this.
One thing I say that Guillermo del Toro does well is horror. He does
Yeah,
horror
I
very,
can't.
very
Ooh,
well.
mm-mm. Even though I
You see
absolutely.
what Rodney says? I wonder if he gets one of the new Lord of the Rings movies. That would be an amazing movie.
They said
Oh
he
my
was
God.
originally doing The Hobbit.
Oh my God. Could you
That would have
imagine
actually
him doing The
been
Hobbit?
that'd have been crazy.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. He made do a stop motion version of The Hobbit. It
Man,
just
the damn
messes all up.
man, the damn orcs and shit would be terrifying.
Terrifying.
The Urukai, they would. Oh my god,
Yeah, he had to get all kinds of delays.
Smog would have
So he,
been. Oh man,
yeah, it'd have been crazy. Oh man. Okay, so Blackstone to publish 8 Michael Crichton novels written under John Lang's pseudonym while Jurassic Park author was in Harvard Medical School. So Michael Crichton has brilliant mix of science and narrative resulted in north of $10 billion in film and television revenue
oh yeah,
and 250
he's a
million
big deal.
books sold. So they're gonna do the novels that he wrote under his pseudonym while he was in medical school.
Yeah, I didn't know he
Um,
went to Harvard Medical School. I mean, and most people are not really that familiar with Michael Crichton.
mhm.
I mean, outside of the Jurassic World, you know what I'm saying? Which he didn't
Yeah,
write Jurassic World. He wrote Jurassic Park.
Hart. Hmm.
He wrote the second one,
Yeah,
Jurassic Park, what is it, The Lost World,
the Lost
which
World. Yeah,
which I've read the books,
yeah,
the
yeah.
book and the movie are nothing alike. Like
Nothing,
absolutely
nothing.
nothing alike. The only thing they share is the title.
Yeah, there's too much science in them books. Too
Oh,
much
there's a lot of science in
pseudoscience.
them books.
Too much pseudoscience in them books.
I'm sure there's some scientists right now that's using those books they're probably trying to do this shit
As the
for real.
North Star, that's how we
Hmm.
do it. That's how humans do it. We take science fiction, use it as our North Star. Like the divide to create Skynet was
Hmm.
actually came the race after the Terminator movies. Like a bunch of kids watched them. Sergey and all them were young teenagers, and they're like, "Holy shit, I want to make that."
Yeah, and they're grown now with budgets and shit, and they're
And
doing
they're
it.
trying to do it. They've been trying to do it their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
But Lang's pseudonyms for odd, he has moved John Lang pseudonym for Odds On 1966, Scratch One in 1967, Easy Go in 1968, Zero Cool in 1969, The Venom Business 1969, Drug of Choice in 1970, Grave Descent 1970, and Binary in 1972. Some of these novels touched on science sandbox he wrote in later, but with a pulpy crime thriller twist to them. They sound like groovy ass hippie
Hmm.
books that have like drug of choice. Like, what is that? I might have to go
You
back
know
and
the
reach them. All the books are
and the
set in the
crack.
late 1960s and 70s, and were in a way in a tribute to Ian Fleming's James Bond novels and to one of his favorite Alfred Hitchcock films, To Catch a Thief.
Mm-hmm.
This may be
I
very
mean,
interesting.
what's really impressive about that?
What's that?
Like to write novels, to write books like that in the 60s, there was no word processors or computers and shit. I mean, he's on
It's
a
typewriters.
typewriter cranking them Jones out. Like,
Yep.
dude,
There was no whiteout. They were scratching through, typing in words.
man, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Beast. And for anybody that remembers the classic TV show ER, he wrote
Mm-hmm.
all of ER. I mean, they did 330 episodes, 15 years, won a bunch of Emmys. Like that man was a beast.
He was writing his butt off.
Hmm.
I think he was almost a doctor.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody gave him plenty of honorary ones.
They probably did. They probably did. And AI illustrated comic has lost a key copyright case. What they are not the author of is the art. They can do not recognize any of the images as being owned and under Castanova's copyright. Castanova has said that they edited and arranged the AI generated art and are therefore an artist. So when Chris Casanova intended to copyright their comic book, Karaya, the Dawn, The United States Copyright Office originally granted them rights. Later, the agency put the book under review because Castanova social media, where they said that they had produced the images using AI generated Mid-Journey.
Oh, okay. So this guy put out a comic book, Zarya of the Dawn. He wrote it, but all the images, he didn't get an actual illustrator.
Artist.
He didn't get an actual comic book artist. He did it with AI generated art.
Mid-Journey.
And then the Supreme Court or whatever the Copyright Office said that he can't own the art. He can't copyright it because it was created by AI.
Created by AI.
That's
And Mid-Journey is known to take samples of other artists' work to generate its work.
Which that makes sense. I mean, it's like a music sample. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
can't say you
yeah.
own.
But you
If
take
it's
a music
based
sample, you
on.
got to pay those artists.
Yeah, you got to pay mechanical. You got to pay. You got to pay rights on that. Like,
Yeah, pay rights on that. So he doesn't know it, but you don't know when Mid-Journey takes the artwork, you don't know who it's taken from.
Yeah, they just. I'm sure that
Just
AI
grabs it.
has bots that just scour the internet and
Scour the internet and grab it.
Huh.
So that makes sense.
Interesting.
In response to these edits, the Copyright Office stated that the work they did was too minor and perceivable to supply the necessary creativity of copyright protection. I mean, you don't get the copyright, so you still sell it. Hell, you didn't have to pay an artist to do it, so whatever. The words are yours.
I guess. I don't know. It's a strange case, and I just feel like that's going to lead to something more major coming down the road.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because a lot of times what we don't realize is that when you start doing stuff like this and it goes to court, even though it might not seem that big now, it's starting to set a precedent against something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be just another brick in laying the foundation of what AI is responsible for and what is covered by AI. DC is bringing its Superman lunch and baby Batman manga stateside. So Kodansha, from a formerly Japanese exclusive trio of manga using DC comic book characters, are getting their first official English language release this year. Excellent news for anyone who's ever wanted to watch the Joker raise a baby Bruce Wayne.
What?
So the aforementioned Baby Bats manga, Joker One Operation Joker by Satoshi Miyakawa and Keisuke Goto, follows the clown prince of crime after a scrap with Batman sees the Dark Knight de-aged into a baby, leading Joker to silently that it's up to him to raise Bruce Wayne as his own child and transform into his great crime-fighting rival along the way.
That is nuts.
This totally manga-fied. Batman Justice Busters from the creative team behind the Ultraman manga, Eiichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimaguchi, following an early career Batman as he develops AI named Robin to aid his lonely fight against crime. And then there's Superman versus Meshi by Satoshi Miyakawa and Kai Katago, which sees Superman fly to Japan for his daily lunch break, sampling various restaurants and delicacies to expand his Kryptonian culinary tastes, and occasionally bring a friend from the Justice League along with him for the ride.
That shit right there is hilarious. That's a Instagram, that's a YouTube series right there. Because then Superman should blog on that shit. Like, that's hilarious.
I'm all in for this. That sounds amazing. This sounds amazing. And I'm going to close out this next article. We're going to close out with this.
Okay.
This is the big news for the day, you guys. The Sony State of Play, February 2023. Everything announced in trailers.
Let's go.
So 5 PlayStation VR games got announced. And they include the Foglands, survival game, steampunk shooter, the Foglands, survival game, Green Hell, futuristic first-person shooter, Synops, space role-playing game, Journey to Foundation, and blinking narrative before your eyes. Destiny 2 Lightfall, Bungie's next Destiny 2 expansion, Lightfall's launching next week. The developer gave another look at what Lightfall will bring to the game. The official release date is February 28th on all platforms. There's Tachia, is an all colorful island exploration, letting the player jump between animals and objects to solve puzzles and make your way through the environment. It launches on PlayStation Plus on March 21st, day one release. Then March 2023, PlayStation Plus releases the Chia, of course, alongside Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein. They have a game called Humanity. What is Humanity? Hard to tell, but it looks like the game that you can build and change, making it something different. It's made by the people that did from Enhance. They made Tetris Effects and Res Infinite. It seems like a Lemmings game, but you can have sword fighting, all kinds of weird things in the game. It's very interesting. It's like a Lemmings meets I don't know, sword fighting game. It's really interesting. Goodbye Volcano High, which is KOOP's an adventure game with a strong cinematic narrative feel. Plus, it's a rhythm game. It's about a band, and the band has to survive and you have to make it happen. Then there's the big one, Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. The Ninja Storm games are okay. They're just Naruto. It's just the
Yeah, but
movie
you know what I'm saying. But if
episodes.
you're gonna do Naruto, you don't do Boruto. Like
They
it starts
combined
with
them.
Boar. It starts with Boar. You know,
Uh-huh.
because Boruto's a son or something like that, and it's
Son,
just
it's the son. Yep.
he's whack juice. Like
Yep. They cover Baldur Gates 3, Wayfinder as well, which is a multiplayer game set in a fantasy world. Street Fighter 6, they announced three new characters, Zangief, Lily, and Cammy. Lily's the new Native American character.
okay,
It
I
was
about to say
awesome.
because Zangief and Cammy are older
The
characters,
older characters, yep.
but they
Yep.
haven't been in Street Fighter since what, like Street Fighter 2 or something
I don't
like
know. I
that.
think Cammy was in last Street Fighter 5. I think she was in
Was
Street
she?
Fighter 5.
Mm.
I think she was. And Zangief, I don't think was there, but I think she was. I mean, the funk can correct us if we're wrong. Resident Evil 4. They made a remake to Resident Evil 4. We get extensive look at the upgraded version of it. I'm just at the point
A
where I'm tired of
Return of the
seeing Resident
Mercenaries
Evil.
model.
Yeah, mercenaries mode. I'm just tired of seeing them rehash games.
And then I'm like I was never really a Resident Evil fan, so I'd be confused if they'd be jumping all over the place. Like, you know, one year we do
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 8 and now we're doing Resident Evil 4. Like,
It's
stop it.
constant remakes. They just make new remakes.
Yeah, or
They
if you're gonna
haven't
do
remade the one with the Beyonce model, Shiva, which is Resident Evil 5. They haven't
I
remade
never
Resident
heard
Evil
about that
5
one.
yet.
I didn't
Yeah,
know about that
yeah.
one.
They had a black fighter in it. They had her scantily clad. They were like, how we need to make her. And the art director's like, make her butt like Beyonce's butt.
I mean,
And then,
that's that's smart. That's
yeah,
smart gaming.
then the big announcement they made was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And they did an exhaustive 15-minute look into Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They showed some of the game's more narrative story details, shared more of those narrative details. They put a highlight on combat and also a traversal. Because traversal is a really big thing. And they announced that it's a four-person co-op experience. So you can have four people playing at the same time to bring total chaos and havoc to an open world game.
Okay. I mean, that sounds interesting.
It's
I don't
five
know. I
years.
mean, like,
Mm-hmm. Go
you
ahead.
know, like the first Suicide Squad movie wasn't terrible. It just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't great. The second one was fun. I liked the second one.
Yeah, I like the second one too.
Yeah, the second
But
one was fun, but
but yeah,
uh,
this is more of a comic book thing. This is the Arkham Asylum guys. Rocksteady's the studio behind it. They did
so
all the
this should be
Arkham
pretty. This
games.
should be
It's
solid.
gonna be really good. It's gonna be solid.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really solid. It's 5 years after the Arkham games, apparently. 5 years after that, Brainiac's taking over Metropolis, and you're in Metropolis.
Hmm.
And all the Justice League is turning into villains as Brainiac takes them over.
Okay.
So they and right now they're emphasizing on the Flash, and the Flash seems very badass in this. They're showing a lot
Yeah,
of,
like
and that's
I don't know. I keep hearing a lot of things about you know, the upcoming movie, and
yeah.
you know, James
James
Gunn
Gunn
said
says
it.
this is the
He loved it.
best
Said it's
superhero
badass.
movie. It's best superhero movie made.
Yeah, the
Um, but
best one made, and he can't wait to kick that shit out of the rest of the DC EU.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's gonna be interesting. This is a very interesting looking game. I hopefully I think it relies more on the comic books than the movies. So it's its own universe. It's an Arkham universe.
That's good.
It's an Arkham universe. So that's what's awesome. The Arkham games are amazing. Arkham Asylum is still my favorite game. It's one
Hmm.
level, and the way they built that game was amazing, and how
Yeah,
they unlocked it and stuff. So this is going to be a very interesting take on this whole entire franchise. That they're
yeah.
saying, hey,
My
they're
kids
they're,
love
they're, they're going to
Arkham
Guardians
Knight.
of the Galaxy game and said, we did what y'all wanted to do, or we did what the Gotham Knights wanted to do,
Hmm.
and we did it with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Because the new Steel took over Gotham Knights, which is based in the Arkham world. They're like, nah, we're not coming back to that. We're doing our own thing. So
nice.
this is going
Okay.
to be interesting. Um, with that being said, you have anything you want to share with the people?
No, I always love being on GeekBeast. I love just the wide breadth of things that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So no, this was awesome.
Yeah. With that being said, you all, thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to the Nerdy Entrepreneur, the Funk for always crafting our stories for us and getting our news together. Shout out to Rodney for being a great tech producer and tech director for the show. Uh, thank everybody for coming in. Tomorrow is happy hour. Hopefully, I'll be back in LA by tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know if we're going to have it or not. I want to say we are going to have it, so come in at 7:30 and chill out with us for an hour. Um, Rakai, you want to join us tomorrow for
Yeah,
happy hour? Okay, we'll have you
yeah,
on a show happy hour, so you can hear
yes.
me laugh at Randy all day long.
Yes, I have my adult beverage of some
Yeah,
flavor
yeah.
enhanced water.
With that being said, shout out to Digital Click for making us look good, and see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right, see y'all tomorrow.